I'm gonna tell you right now, the lighting is changing a lot outside, so if you see some changes in exposure in this video, forgive me, blame the sun. I have started a big project, which I think is going to take me quite a long time, but I wanted to document it because I think it's going to be very interesting and also very fun for me and for you. And this project is to create a big painting that I'm going to put in my bedroom. Because to be honest, my bedroom is pretty drab. There's not a lot of decorations. It feels like I just moved in this place and we've been here for what, 6-7 years now. So maybe it's about time that we start putting some paintings on the walls and making this place a little bit prettier. Yeah, I got this idea when I explored with abstract art techniques. I love the textures that I created and the color combinations, and it looks so organic. So I want to create something like that. And since it's for a bedroom, I wanted to have very relaxing colors, but I want it to be super interesting to look at. What I like about the paintings that I created is that when you look at them close, you always see new details, so you can really spend a long time looking at it and you're always seeing something new. So this is something like that I want to create. My goal is to create the biggest size painting I can create, which comes with a lot of challenges, which I'm going to detail in a little bit. I just want to show you what I created so far and where my inspiration comes from for this big painting. So this all started when I created some abstract landscapes. This is one of them. I really liked the abstract characteristics of this painting, and I kind of rediscovered some colors of mine that I never used before because I didn't really like them on their own, but mixed with other colors, such as copper. I never use copper usually, but when I mixed it in this abstract way, I loved the results, so it kind of inspired me. And then I created some abstract paintings in my sketchbook. These. I love this one, but the colors are not very soothing, so I won't use these kinds of colors. But maybe this yellowish green could be used in a soothing bedroom painting, but not the red. Also, I love this one. I love the colors, the blues. Then I had some fun adding some white dots, some lines. Then I did these two, which are the same color palettes, but on different papers. This is hot press paper. I found that on hot press paper, there's way less textures. The paint don't granulate as much. So this is good to know. And since I like these a little bit less than the others, I tried adding some oil pastels on top. And I have to say, I don't really like the result that much. I like the textures of the oil pastel. I don't like the shapes that I created, so I guess there's something I could do with that. I could play with it a bit more. And then I wanted to practice on a super good quality paper. I had some leftovers from the time where I cut a painting in a bigger size sheet, so I cut them in smaller rectangles and I used them to explore different color palettes. So it's kind of the color exploration for this big painting. I wanted to be able to narrow down my choices to a couple of colors only. I did a lot of exploration and I had so much fun. Now today I want to continue this exploration. I have another piece of leftover that I want to use to create a slightly bigger painting. I have some ideas of how I can make this painting a bit different than the others to continue my exploration. So you will see that very soon. I plan on taking you with me throughout this whole process. I don't know when it's going to be done. I don't know how realistic it is to paint such a big painting using watercolors. There's a lot of questions that I have regarding the practical aspect of it. But let's explore with this first and then we'll talk more about my questions and challenges that I'm facing a bit later. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that I also tried using only inks This is a watercolor mostly, but the white spots are inks. But here I decided to try only inks to see what the effect would be, and I like it way less because ink does not granulate. And I realized that one thing that I loved of these two paintings is the granulation effect that I achieved. So this is going to be a painting made only with, well, mostly with watercolors, and we'll get maybe a touch of ink. In these tiny paintings here, I used the white ink again, so you can see some like white spots here. This is the ink, and I also used some gold ink in some of the paintings. So here, the gold spots here are gold ink, and I also used white ink. And for this one in particular, I love the combination of the blue and the gold. So this is one of my top choices as for color palette. I also like the greens. I think they're very soothing as well. So I'm gonna explore more with these two color palettes and decide on one eventually. As you can see, I tried a new technique. I wanted to try out some uneven edges in my painting just to add to the level of textures, and I also thought that it would be nice to add some pieces of tape like this. At first I thought I would use my small tape, but I like that these are uneven, so I think this can be very cool. We are 100% in experimentation world. Now, next to choose my colors, I would look into my swatch book and see what colors I have. So I have my Daniel Smith watercolors, and these are my Van Gogh watercolors. Eventually, I want to create a page with these colors in this swatch book, so everything is in one place, but I just haven't had time yet. And so I look at the colors that I have, and I pick a color combination that I think would be interesting. Oh, I have this interference white here that I think I should try. See? If I hadn't looked at it, I wouldn't have known I had this one because I never use it. I found no use in this color. But now, since I'm working on a different kind of project, I see it could be amazing. So we're gonna try it. So what I want to do is work on this color palette. I'm going to use my I'm going to use my Daniel Smith Blue Apatite Genuine with titanium buff and maybe a bit of burgundy yellow ochre from Daniel Smith and this interference white from Van Gogh. It's gonna be exciting. Since I've never used this interference white in any of my paintings, I don't really know how it's gonna react with the blue. My question is, should I mix them both when they're wet, this color and the blue, or should I mix the blue and once it's dry, apply the interference white on top? So to discover that, we're gonna do a test in this sketchbook first, because I don't want to waste this nice piece of paper. We'll do a test first and then we will work on this one. I'm gonna keep this on the side for inspiration. I'm splitting this page so I can do 4 areas of testing. I have my colors here. I have some salt here that I can use to create texture. I also have some nail polish remover that I can use for that as well. How I'm planning to do this test is that on this side, the interference white will be added after the painting is drying, and on this side is going to be added at the same time as the other paints, and we'll see what difference it makes. This bottom row here will be covered with this plastic, and this one will not. I haven't used interference white in a long time, as you can see. I think it needs some mixing. Sometimes that's what happens with watercolors. The binder just separates from the paint, but then you just need to mix it a little and it's fine. Okay, let's try. Okay, now let's try to add some texture by adding salt. I chose some big salt to see what the effect will be. And then I thought I could add a little bit of nail polish remover to add even more effects. Well, it is time to peel off this plastic wrap and see what happened. I'm going to have to wait a little bit more until the salt is all dried up, and then I'll be able to remove it And I'm gonna test putting the interference white on this one, just see what happens, but I already have a pretty good idea of what I want to do. But let's just finish this test and then we can try painting our other painting that I prepared earlier. Okay, so we switched setup a little bit because we kind of were losing the light of day. Now I am going to grab a little bit of interference white and just see how it behaves on top. Yeah, that pretty much confirms what I was thinking. I think it's better if I put it first on paper and then I add the blue, because on top it doesn't really do much for me right now. Okay, good to know. Also, I think I'm going to try a mix of this big salt that I tried and some normal table salt. Here we can see that the big salt made some really nice effects, but we don't see it too much, so I think I want to mix the two. Trying to work quite fast. Now let's add the blue and let's hope that everything goes well. I like when it's a bit crinkled. I wanted to put some gold, but I guess now it's too late. Well, I can still put some. And now we wait a little bit. I've waited for a couple of hours and now I'm ready to take off the plastic and see what it looks like underneath. It's so exciting. And then I'll be able to remove the salt as well. Oh, nice. Oh, that's interesting. I think adding some big pieces of salt did a really cool effect. I think I'll wait until tomorrow before I remove the salt because I just touched it and it was not completely dried, so I'll wait a little bit. But this is so nice. And tomorrow we're gonna peel off the tape. Can't wait to see all the effects that it's gonna create. See if it's nice or not. All right, see you tomorrow. It's the next day and I have removed the salt from my painting. And I have to say that I really love the effect of the big salt. You can really see it. And I also removed the salt from this one. Well, these ones. And this one I added the interference white on top and I don't like this effect too much. So what I did here just confirmed to me that I need to put all my colors on paper before I put the plastic on top. Otherwise, it's not the desired effect. I had a couple more ideas that I can work on just to try out different things. But at least I figured some stuff out already with this test. I love the effects that I created using the tape in the painting, and also I really love the uneven edge. It's so cool. I'm for sure going to do this in the big painting. I decided I'm going to leave it as is. I love it too much. There's already so much detail in it and I don't want to ruin it. I'm so happy with it. But now I want to test out other ideas. Well, these ideas, we're gonna explore them together in next week's video. Or if it's not next week, it's gonna be the week after. Well, it's gonna be in the next video of this series because I finished editing the first part and turns out it's super long already and I don't want to cut anything else. So this series will be a bit longer than expected, but I think it's going to be smaller, more digestible videos. Therefore, next week we will explore some more techniques, some more ideas, more colors, and we will paint our first big painting. So I cannot wait to see you there. In the meantime, take care. I'll see you soon. And please don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. All right, bye-bye.